In one of her notebooks, Frida Kahlo wrote, "There have been two great accidents in my life. The first was the terrible crash that left my body broken and crushed. And the second is the time I met Diego Rivera, who quite literally became the love of my life." In this short reflection, I'll focus on the second accident, the meeting of Diego Rivera. Frida met Diego in 1928. At that time, he was already very famous because of his murals steeped in Mexican culture and tradition. It was love at first sight for Frida, but there were many problems in this relationship. Firstly, her parents disapproved very strongly. They described the relationship as being the relation between an elephant and a paloma, a dove. Secondly, the age difference. Diego was 20 years older than her. And thirdly, Diego was a well-known philanderer at that time. The year after they met, they were married. And soon after, Frida paints these beautiful pictures of the couple, gently holding hands. And she says about this painting, "Here you see us, me, Frida Kahlo, with my dearest husband, Diego Rivera. I painted this picture in the delightful city of San Francisco, California, and it was in the month of April of the year 1931. Rivera encouraged Kahlo to develop her painting, as well as to see herself as a work of art. For that, he really encouraged her to wear Mexican indigenous skirts and blouses. He encouraged her to do her hair in elaborate braids. But this relationship proved to be turbulent, because even after the marriage, Diego continued his womanizing. His fame and his charisma attracted women to him. Frida was prepared to tolerate it, but the breaking point came when he had a relationship, an affair, with Frida's younger sister, Cristina. In 1939, she divorced him, and a few months later painted this picture. Let us first focus on her face. This is the face of a very strong, independent, determined woman. In her left hand, she is holding a lock of her hair, but in her right hand, she is holding the scissor. Look at the placement of the scissor. It looks very threatening. The floor is strewn with her hair. In an act of hurt, but in an act of defiance, she had cut off all her hair. She had rid herself of all the Mexican colorful clothes. And she is wearing an oversized charcoal grey suit. Why is it oversized? She's wearing one of Rivera's suits. At the top of the painting, she includes the words and the musical notation of a popular Mexican folk song. It translates, "I loved you because of your hair, but now that you've cut off your hair, I do not love you anymore." With this painting, Frida makes a powerful declaration to herself, to Diego, and to the world. She has been through a relationship trauma, and yet she has grown through it. She had come to a point of self-discovery, and from now on she is declaring that she is going to be the person that she wants to be. She is going to dress and wear her hair the way she wants to dress and wear her hair. From now on, she is an independent woman, and the relationship with Diego has changed forever. She'll not depend on him anymore. On the contrary, by wearing Diego Rivera's suit, she's making an act of self-assertion. She is going to be an artist, an independent artist in her own right. Despite this turbulency, the attraction that they have for each other, I would say the love that they have for each other, was too strong. As you can see from this painting on 1943, Diego was on her mind. And so in 1940, they remarried. But their relationship had changed forever. It was now a two-way relationship because Frida had discovered her own identity, had discovered her own true self. There is a saying apocryphally attributed to Mark Twain that says, "The two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you found out why." I agree with the first part of this statement. On the day that we are born, God launches us into the world. It is the moment in which our journey of self-discovery begins. But as far as finding out why, it doesn't happen just in one day. It is an ongoing process. Every day has its blessing, every day has its challenges, but every day we are invited to reflect on our experiences so that we can grow into self-understanding, self-acceptance. In one of her notebooks, she wrote, "I do know that my paintings are the most frank expression of myself." For Frida, the path of self-discovery or self-understanding was through her art. With this painting, Frida Kahlo does not just invite us, she actually challenges us to accept the reality of our own loving relationships, no matter how imperfect or how turbulent they are. The message that Frida Kahlo has for us is that relationships can be grand and glorious, but the relationship will also fall apart and relationships fail. Hearts are going to be hurt and hearts are going to be broken. But for Frida Kahlo, the one and only failure in life is the failure to love. Because our relationships are our own pathway to self-discovery and spiritual growth. Pope Francis in the Joy of the Gospel at paragraph 272 says, "Loving others is a spiritual force drawing us to union with God." And he continues, "When we encounter another person in love, we learn something new about God. Whenever our eyes are open to acknowledge the other, we grow in the light of faith and the knowledge of God." Bye now.